Welcome back. I'm Brent Meredith. It's fair to say that many, if not all of us, have heard of or used a rideshare app. While each of our experiences can vary widely, none of us should have to worry about being assaulted by the driver. Here with me tonight to share his personal story of rideshare abuse is Jayson Brazeal. Welcome, Jayson. Thanks for being here. I know this is a lot to talk about. You're very welcome. We have a lot to cover, so let's jump in. Okay. So before we get to the awful incident, tell us a little bit about who you are and before all this began.
Okay. Yeah, makeup artist here in Nashville, transplant, great city, love it.
Where'd you transplant from?
Memphis.
Okay,
I was recruited to come here.
Well, cool. So now that we know who you are and where you're from, tell us a little bit about the night in question, sort of the events leading up to getting into the car and then sort of what you remember after that.
It was just a celebration with friends, getting together. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary getting in the car. I take Lyft rides all the time, so I don't recall anything being abnormal at all.
So did you just normally, like you normally do, call up the car, see the person, get in? Just
hi, how
like
are you?
Everybody else does, right?
Hi, how are you? Hello. And that's...
When you first got in, do you remember first getting into the car having any sense of uneasiness or anything, or was it just normal?
Seemed like it was going to be a normal Lyft ride.
Do you remember much of, what was the ride itself like? Was there any dialogue with the driver? Or?
The hey, how are you? And then at some point it escalated to expletives that you don't say.
Okay, so we can't say on TV.
No, we can't say that on TV.
Now, did you sense that there was like a build up to it, or was it just kind of like he turned a corner, or
like just a switch,
Really,
yeah,
really. Could you tell, like, could you sense that was happening and did back off and it was too late? Or I guess I'm just trying to kind of put myself in your situation, you know, because I've done this many times. You get in the car, you have the pleasantries, you might have a dialogue about the radio, whatever, and then you kind of are quiet.
Right.
And it's never really had that turn, but did you feel unsettled at all? Or
not, I mean, it came out of the blue. Out of the blue.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you, even just visually, you got no like, oh, this person looks a little sketchy, nothing.
No.
Wow. So do you remember much about what was happening during the actual assault portion, or was it closer to getting home, or like maybe halfway through the ride? How did it?
I was dropped off.
Okay.
But I lost consciousness pretty much immediately.
So it happened once you got to your place, and then so you don't remember actually a lot of the physical part?
I remember getting out of the car and then walking around the car. And then I didn't stand a chance. Everything went black.
So they must have clearly like put the car in park, got out.
I remember seeing the car with the lights on, and then the impact, and pulverizing everything.
Well, and we've got some pictures I'm going to want to show here in a minute, because I mean, looking at you now, when people see these photos, they're not going to recognize you, and I just want to make sure we get a chance to show those. Has there been any sort of outcome with the driver? Have you heard of anything from Lyft? Or?
Initially, Lyft reached out 3 times to me, assuring that he had been suspended and they wanted to offer their support. I'm a little disheartened because all this time I've not heard anything from them since.
So since that initial contact, they've not followed up to check on you or ask about anything?
They have not.
Well, so that makes me think then, so tell us a little bit about your surgeries and maybe any expenses that you might have incurred. And I think we've got, is it okay to show the pictures now?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to cue those up and rotate through some of the shots. And again, they're a little graphic here. So that's, just set the scene for us.
Yeah, that was the initial night. I believe that was the first surgery. Yeah, more of the first surgery.
And that's some scarring there from, it was reconstructive surgery, right?
Yes,
on your face?
Yes.
Yeah, look how swollen you are there.
They had to rebuild the whole left side.
Really?
Completely.
Well, kudos to whoever did it, because you look great. But man, was there a lot of pain involved? I mean, it's kind of an obvious question,
but yes. Yeah, my mouth was wired shut for 10 weeks.
For 10 weeks?
10 weeks.
So like eating through a straw?
Soup. Because he did knock out front teeth, so I had a little bit for a straw to
there's some before and after too. That's kind of, and how soon before the incident was that picture on the left there taken?
That was just a few months before.
Just a few months before. Wow, sorry, that was a picture of Bianca Page. That's our next segment. Didn't mean to throw that in there. So with all of that, I mean, obviously you probably kind of racked up some expenses, right, with this, right? I mean, is that part of what you're trying to settle with Lyft for? Or?
Just right now, we're over $500,000
really
and growing in expenses.
Well, and again, if there's any part of this you don't want to answer, you let me know. But I mean, are you having to go back for more treatments? I mean, you look great, but I mean, is there still a healing process?
Yeah, there's still parts of my face that don't cooperate because it was completely paralyzed. So there's still parts of my face that don't cooperate. The nerves haven't woken up yet.
Yeah.
They told me initially 50-50 chance if it's going to come back.
Really?
So.
Well, again, it seems okay here now. I can tell is this left side of your face is a little bit less responsive. Is that how you feel?
Yes. Yes.
Has it affected you in any? I mean, well, obviously it's affected you in other ways, but how has it affected you in other facets of your life? I mean, has it been rough going back to work?
Very rough going back to work. I wasn't able to do anything for 3 months. So going back to work, it was just like, can I do this? Can I do this?
Yeah. Well, is there anything that you can share with us? I know it's an ongoing case, but is there anything you know or can update our viewers on what's going down?
I've heard nothing from, I don't know where they're at with the DNA, with the case. All I know is it's ongoing investigation.
Do you remember what the person looks like? And I mean,
I do.
You do? So,
I do.
So you do have the recollection of, you could pick them out of a lineup if you had to?
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting. Okay. Are you suffering from any sort of like PTSD symptoms? I mean, are you apprehensive about getting in a car?
Yeah. Flashing lights, bad. Anybody near my face, I kind of freak out a little. Anybody touching the scars, I can't handle that. Anybody coming up behind me to kind of spook me or say hello, I will freak out.
Yeah, I could totally imagine that being the case because I mean, you're just sort of on alert. I mean, even when you have a regular sort of car wreck, you're
just
on
going
alert.
to Kroger at nighttime. I'm looking over my shoulder all the time.
So not only were you obviously physically hurt, I mean, now you've got this mental anguish you're dealing with too, right? I mean,
and that's forever.
Yeah,
that's
I mean, literally
forever.
forever. Can you know, we've got about a minute left and I want to make sure you have an opportunity to kind of provide some thoughts to people. So again, as we open the segment, we've all used, or most all of us have used these rideshare apps and don't think twice about getting in the car. Is there anything you want to tell the people or remind folks? Or
Yeah, be cautious. If you feel something is going in a certain direction, such as this, call 911 straight up in the car.
Really?
Immediately.
Really?
Immediately call 911. I wish that I had done that. Yeah, I wish I had done that. A lot of people think it'll never happen to me. I thought the same thing. It happened, and it's ruined my life.
Yeah, I mean, completely changed your entire way of being.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you have my sympathy, and I'd love to have you back when we know a little bit more about the case, if that's okay, because I'd love for people to hear more. It's really a big deal, and I'm glad you're okay. Or getting okay.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time.
Working on it, absolutely.
Appreciate it very much. And I'll be right back after this short break with a look at the 8th annual Bianca Page Day celebration. You stay with us.